Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated. No great big long intro today. We saw at the end of the last episode that parts of Ireland have fallen to a Cathar heresy. Dublin and the Welsh control Dublin and Ulster. Grianghrafadóir is desperately in need of land to settle some knights. And so pretty much what he's going to do, even though he's been focusing attention on Scotland for the last number of episodes, and we're going to return there shortly. But Grianghrafadóir is going to divert from his aim of saving what little is left of Alba. This is pretty much it now. Orkney and their little capital. But what he's going to do instead is he's going to divert his attention, and we're going to go for the conquest of Ulster and pretty much the reunification of Ireland, or the conquest or the reconquest of Ireland. So we'll conquer the duchy, and we will make sure that we don't end up with something weird. And we will confirm and declare war. Now they have 2,600 troops, as you can see, they're allied to Jorvik. And that's going to be quite handy in a roundabout way if they invite in Jorvik, because we have to come here to Dunholm and siege that down because it is involved in a war that our ally is involved in. It's a long, complicated mess, but pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to take this region and then cross across and come down, maybe siege down a few areas over here, hopefully get some money. And we have declared war, not for the first time, not for the last time, in Flann Sinna, in Grianghrafadóir's reign. You'd think I'd be used to saying Grianghrafadóir and not Flann Sinna by now. And so, in the midst of our own crusade to liberate Ireland from various heresies, which, do you know what, we don't really mind all that much. I think we actually recognise the Cathar as righteous. But look, there's a reference to the game. That's the name of the game, and it's in the title. His Holiness, who we met recently, and personally handed him a copy of our methods for the calculation, the vastly superior methods, patent pending, for the calculation of Easter. Personally handed it to him. That's what the annals will say. We actually never had a meeting with him. He never spoke to us, and I don't think he ever will read the book we gave him. But they have declared, His Holiness has declared, the Christian faiths now have access to crusades in the year 930, so possibly we might see Ireland involving itself in disputes across the world for the righteousness of God. Christian faiths now have access to crusades, if they say so. And we can see that the Jorvik has indeed came into the battle. We will send up our large army, and then we will split it off, and we will attack these two areas separately. I was actually thinking of declaring war on Dublin as well at the same time and just mopping up the entire thing. I'm not too sure why I'm being told about this. This is our younger brother, and he is betrothed to a nobody. Well, I won't say she's a nobody. She's Hale. But this brings up an interesting question. I'm actually going to send that proposal. He probably ended up coming to our court for some reason. And they've accepted. This does bring up an interesting topic, which I'll address very quickly, and I wasn't going to. We have our electors for the Kingdom of Ireland, and at the moment, I think it's equal between Geralt and our son, but we get the deciding vote. So our son, Cuchurcamur, 12 years of age, will be elected as to succeed us as High King. Geralt himself, the drunk, is not voting for himself. If he did, he's actually voting for the guy that we just got the marriage proposal there. If he did vote for himself, I'm not too sure he's able to, but if he did vote for himself, he would pretty much win. And highly likely that once we hand out Ulster, we're actually going to see more people putting their support behind Geralt the Drunkard. People seem to like him. And you know what? I'm thinking of putting my support behind him myself. We have seen decades of war It's 9:30 now. We have been continuously at war, and we're going to be continuously at war for the next couple of decades, for as long as Grianghrafadóir sits on the Shamrock throne, because he wants to conquer Scotland, or he at least wants to conquer this kind of area here, and re-establish Alba. We can't say stabilize anymore. After all that warfare, the vassals are clearly sick of two reigns of warlike individuals, and this is why I think they're putting their support behind Geralt. Also, it's generally all the foreigners that are supporting Geralt at the moment. Ser Vortuk is the only actual Irish ruler supporting him. The other two are people that we're just about to drive out. But I'm actually thinking of supporting him myself, both from a gameplay point of view to see what it's like playing with somebody who isn't of a military education. But also it makes sense that the vassals would support somebody who is diplomatic and who will rule peacefully and allow them an opportunity to get to grips with their new holdings. So we're going to conquer Ulster and we're going to conquer Dublin, and then we're going to see what the scenario looks like, and possibly we might shift our vote from Cuchurcha to Geralt. Now Geralt's only problem is that he is 48 and Grianghrafadóir is 55, so he wouldn't have long. More than likely, he wouldn't have long to rule. And he's a drunkard. But yeah, we're going to see. We might actually be switching our vote for the High Kingship. So we've gotten ourselves another lifestyle perk. I was going to come for strict organisation. That increases the increased control in county activity that our marshal can do. At the moment, our marshal is training our knights, so we're going to come over and we're going to get that movement speed bonus that was of so much use to us under Flann Sinna. And we're probably going to stay on the marshal tree. I was hoping to go back to diplomacy, which is another reason that I'm thinking of switching my vote to Geralt, is the way that we can actually play a kind of a different type of character, because of course Cuchurcha is also has a military education, so we'd be basically just coming down through these trees again. So I think we'll leave it here, especially as we need that control growth. So this is awkward. Our brand new knight, I've just hired him. He's Norse, and I'm actually going to leave him as Norse. I'm not going to force him to convert, because he gets a +2, or he gets a +1 because of a holy site. So he's at a 19, even though he has a -3 because of his age. But somebody's already trying to kill the poor man. Somebody at court does not like the Norse. Ulster is attempting to run. I don't think they're going to make it. They didn't. We've 1,300 soldiers coming in. Coming into Galloway at the moment. So what we can do is we'll siege down Downpatrick. Or yeah, we'll get them into Downpatrick and we'll see if they're going to cross. And if they are, if they're actually going to come across, we might move so that they land. Oh, they're going out into the ocean. Okay. So they're going to disembark. I was hoping they were going to cross straight in here into Carrickfergus, and we would hit them. But they're going to have to disembark somewhere, so we might march down the coast to catch them. Oh wow, we got a big chunk of martial lifestyle experience there. I should see who's commanding our armies. It is Briog, our marshal. Speaking of people who hate the Norse, we have a baby in our prison. We don't tend to execute babies. Actually, so we've this guy. We've captured his wife and his child. We're going to release the child on the condition that they convert. So this is, he's a steward in northern Scotland. He's somewhere up in northern Scotland, up around there. So we're going to release the baby. And as for his wife, because we do want to keep up our dread, in case we do want to force Cuchurcha to be elected, we're going to execute her. So he's a sadist just like his father, but he has executed vastly more people than Flann Sinna ever did. The baby has no choice but to accept our vastly superior methods, patent pending, for the calculation of Easter. Can we rapidly get down the coast and hit them? I don't think we'll be able to hit the main body of the army, but we'll probably hit poor old Ulster again. These guys are marching for Athlone. I think they've realised they made a terrible, terrible choice. And we've actually captured the prince himself. Will we be able to hit them, or will they get out before it? We've gotten out. Getting into the mountains, so that's going to be a difficult place to attack. One of the wars that we didn't bother our arse actually doing anything about has just been lost. So this was our we tortured his wife. Flann Sinna tortured his wife at one stage, and oh, we've actually lost the alliance entirely. We have to check. We have to check what's going on here, because my daughter is no longer married to, or is no longer betrothed or married to his son. Probably why. Slain in battle. So we tortured this poor woman. Flann Sinna tortured her when we captured Ulm. Their son has just been killed in battle. And the alliance has fallen apart. There's our giant of a daughter who was married to him. So we're gonna have to form a new alliance there. We will deal with our situation here first of all. They're taking up a defensive position in the mountains. They have higher quality soldiers than us. We have vastly more, however. We have better advantage at the moment as well. And we've captured the Earl of Norfolk. We haven't even set foot off the island of Ireland, and we have captured quite a lot of people. So a correction there, we didn't capture the Earl of Norfolk, or we captured his dead body because he was just killed by this guy right across from him. We recruited him in the last episode, and we married him off to somebody. I'm half thinking about giving him to lending him somewhere. There, of course, is Ser Vertuk, who we gave land to. He leads in the kills in all 3 battles. This guy we married to our daughter, and he is after, I think he was trying to kill somebody, and we revealed him as the, accused me of scheming, so we have a minus 15, and then, of course, this guy, yeah, he was the stupid peasant leader that we captured, and we forced him to join us. Here's our brother Ruakon. Somebody else that we might actually support for the High Kingship of Ireland. And of course, down towards the bottom, poor old Donal, Prince Donal, who, he must be suffering from Stockholm Syndrome at this stage. We captured him. His father, of course, is Ser Vertuk, the king of Alba, what little is left of Alba. We captured him. We forced him to join our armies. We've thrown him in. He's not great. We've thrown him in as a warrior. And at the moment, we're forcing him to bring up our son and heir, Kukurka, and he's done a great job with him. He's given him 2 brilliant traits, and Kukurka is prowess 15, Donal is prowess 10. Donal hasn't been having a great time with his own family matters, however. He does have 2 children. He has a daughter who has the hunchback trait, and he has a son who has the sterile trait. So poor Donal isn't doing great in that sense, but he's keeping himself alive anyway, so that's the main thing. So as always, we have some interesting prisoners. We have the Earl of West Riding. He's a vassal of the Jarl of Jorvik. We can ransom him for 50 quid. And the Jarl wants him back. This guy, is a vassal of the Jarl as well. I've already checked. The Jarl will not offer a ransom. He will not pay a ransom for him. And this guy, I thought we'd captured Prince Selfie, or Prince Self. We didn't. We captured one of his courtiers. Let's go to ransom him. Will not accept. Well, it's a short trip to the burning at the stake. I would like if we could behead people. Going to execute him. And we're going to execute him. Mass scale executions. If you're not going to take them back, then you're not getting them back at all. And Grianghrafadóir will be feared and dreaded. His campaign around Scotland didn't go fantastically well in the last one. We did suffer 2 massive defeats, which all they did was they temporarily blocked us from finishing off our campaign early. We will send Briog up to take Alloch, and we will take... Is that the second army? That's under Briog. Where's the second army? Oh no. Are they both under him? I think they are. No, they're not. I got confused there. And they've accepted, giving us a nice chunk of money. Which is good, because we're making absolutely nothing now with our armies raised to the capacity that they're raised at the moment. And as I was saying, I've started building war camps throughout Leinster, because this was the region that I was planning to keep for Grianghrafadóir and to bestow onto his son. If we are looking at supporting Geralt, I'm actually going to start seeing... He's already built a longhouse here, fair play to him. We might actually see about increasing his lands, or helping in increasing his lands, and yeah, getting a war camp going. I think we're a good bit off of finishing any of the stuff here. Oh, we are. They're going to be a long way out. So we'll construct a war camp with some of the money that we have taken from selling back prisoners. And I am looking forward to a CK2 style kill list being introduced, because I would love to see who the full list of people that Grianghrafadóir has executed. But I think at this point in time there's very little to stand in the way of Grianghrafadóir mopping up the rest of Ireland. We're at 49% war score and we've done nothing. They're down to 279 men. They're not going to be in a position to attack us. And the fantastic thing is both of these regions have gotten some money back. So we raided them not that long ago. Now we're going to hit them, and we're gonna raid them. Our Archbishop has converted Leinster, so we're gonna send him straight out and have him convert Ossory, and we're going to see about driving all of the foreign pagan religions off the island of Ireland. So we've already succeeded in Ireland by the looks of it. He converted the entire earldom. And we have a murder. Oh no. We have to check this out. We're going to deal with our bishop first of all. And where do we actually want to put him? Or where can we put him? We'll put him up into our holdings here in Scotland, because I do actually want to convert these regions to insular. So we'll put him. I think we'll put him here to start with, because it actually has a church in it. So it was with a bit of difficulty that I found this guy. I was just lucky enough to remember that he was of the House of Kyle, and I was able to go to the search and find character and find him. And well, let's recreate our process. So we come here, and I was just lucky enough to remember that it was this guy. He has just murdered one of my champions. What could possibly make him do such a thing? Murder, sadistic, I exposed his secret, unlawfully executed family. I've unlawfully executed a lot of people. If we come down here to his mother, we'll see that she was executed on your orders on the 12th of March, 914. And I can only imagine that it sickened this man that that after that a Norse champion would join my court and fight against the Norse people. I imagine that it sickened him, and he took his opportunity to strike against one of my champions that joined my court. I can't even remember his name. I don't know if he even fought in any of our battles. I might be able to go back and check the recording afterwards and see if his name popped up in the 3 battles that we fought, if he made any major contributions. But yeah, out of vengeance, this guy has killed a knight in our court, possibly in revenge for us executing his Norse pagan mother a decade and a half ago. That's Crusader Kings for you. So we need a new champion to fill the gap now that our last champion was killed. That is absolutely fantastic. 200% knight effectiveness. We have only one person excluded, which is our marshal. And we have so many champions at the moment that it's coming down into some low numbers. Chieftain Cunnell with his 6 prowess. High Chieftain Geralt, the drunk, is very almost becoming a knight. So we're gonna have to hire some people. And we have an Ochead Shannon. I would love to hire him. He's slow though. It's a congenital trait. It can be inherited. He's 39. So we do need to try and create some knightly families. And the other guy then is a bit older. He's a 17. Now you might just say, why don't we recruit the 2 of them? I don't know if I can. I can't. They're 10 each and I'm down to 19 gold. We'll be able to recruit the 2 of them shortly afterwards. Do you know what? We'll recruit this guy. We'll see how good he actually is. And we'll see how good he actually is. And then we might see about maybe marrying him to somebody. We're going to siege down some territories shortly enough and get some money. And then we might be able to hire the other guy as well. So we're just about to siege down Alach up here. And when that is complete, I will probably bring them across and attack the Isle of Man, where there is another 20 quid. Now we did attack Carrick not that long ago. It's got £3. Another option would be to return to the Earldom of Dunbar for the first time in a very long time. It's one of the areas that we sieged down in the Wars of the Italian Crown. So that has 17 gold. And another alliance has fallen apart because somebody has died. I've invited my daughter back to court. And we're gonna see about either forming an alliance or marrying her off to a knight and maybe giving them some land. But at the moment, everyone has bad traits or they're stupid. So we're going to finish sieging down Ulster and then we're going to move for Dunbar. And we're up to 84% war score. So probably when we take the Isle of Man, we will secure an end to this war. So apparently I've been complaining to my wife about my useless court, and she's prepared to help to train one of them. Now I would love if she would go back in time and improve Diarmait's stewardship skill from 4 or 5 episodes back, but I don't think she's able to do that. Geralt is the only person who won't be insulted if we send her to them. He'll actually be honoured, or he'll be grateful. He'll get plus 15 opinion of us, and his diplomacy, which is 27, will go up by 2, and his learning will go up by 1. I think this is fantastic. So that's exactly what we're going to do. The other guys will get negative opinions of us. Here's our steward and our bishop. Yeah, we're going to go with this one. Speaking of my wife offering to help with stewards, it was actually her mother who passed away, and her mother controlled a barony. I think 78 soldiers is what she was bringing to the alliance, or something like that. So that's not the biggest loss. Not the biggest loss. So while trying to find a marriage alliance for one of my older daughters, what we're seeing is that a lot of the potential alliance partners are very young. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to marry my 5-year-old daughter off to this 5-year-old. I think he's in line for he's not, but he's a the son of a countess in somewhere in the kingdom of East Francia. So we'll send that proposal. That'll bring us in, I think, 700 troops. Not too shabby. So the Isle of Man has fallen, and as expected, it's given us a 100% war score. We have captured a guest in our siege at Holmwick, which I'm not entirely too sure where that is. Sorry, you're on the Isle of Man. It is. So on the Isle of Man. The crack was mighty on the Isle of Man. And as you can see from his name, he is the son of Fingunne, the guy who Flann Sinna granted Connacht to. Now, I was hoping that we could recruit him. We're just going to negotiate his release. We're not going to... Because, of course, if we execute him, we're going to piss off his family, who are my vassals. So we will just negotiate his release. Can't force him to take vows. Can't demand a conversion. So off you go. And instead of waiting for Dunbar to be sieged down, we will enforce our demands and lay claim to Ulster. Okay, I pressed the wrong button there a couple of seconds ago. To the loathsome High King Grianghrafadóir, may your years be short and miserable. Go way out of that. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. So be it. And Laura has accepted his release as well. We have a hook on him. And so the island of Ireland looks a whole lot more Irelandish. They still have the title of Ulster, Principality of Ulster. So we can't usurp the title at the moment because they're fighting a war, and we need a lot more money than we currently have. The Divils. I thought I was going to get the actual title. We're going to stand down those armies. We're going to disband them. And now we're over our holding limit. I'm probably going to give out the entirety of Ulster to people, and I'm gonna check around in my court and see who is to go to. And interestingly enough, Geralt, the High Chief Geralt of Connacht, reigning from Desmond, he's been stripping land off of people, is willing to enter. I was just told that we can form an alliance with him, and I think this is again the beginnings of an agreement between Grianghrafadóir and his half-brother Geralt, that Grianghrafadóir will support Geralt for the High Kingship of Ireland, on the condition that Geralt in turn supports Cuchurca to replace him. I think we're beginning to see the formation of a mutual agreement to stabilise the succession and to stabilise the kingdom in the aftermath of Grianghrafadóir's violent reign, because it's going to get worse. And I think Geralt is going to basically back Grianghrafadóir's military expeditions in return for Grianghrafadóir backing Geralt to succeed him as High King of Ireland. So we're going to negotiate that alliance. I think we're going to come to the election window for the candidates. Where's that big red drunken head? We're going to cast our vote in favour of High Chieftain Geralt, who now has, I won't say overwhelming support. Sarah Vertuch is still supporting him, and now I'm supporting him. I can see that Sarah Vertuch, he isn't in his knightly clothing anymore. I'm not too sure why. He's had a baba, Ruachan, so that's fantastic. Hopefully we're going to get a kind of a knightly family who will serve us. I don't know if I mentioned Dovgol means dark-haired foreigners. So Gaul, this word Gail, we see it around the place. We see it in our new founding up here, Dunanaul, the fort of the foreigner, or the fort of the foreigners. And so Dovgol would be dark-haired foreigners, and the Fiangol would be the fair-haired foreigners. The fair-haired foreigners would have been the Norwegian Vikings, and the Dovegol would have been the Danish Vikings. And I was hoping to make a reference to that in my recent episode on Irish history about the Vikings being palette swapped. I have a feeling I told this story already, but maybe I didn't. But there you go. In another timeline, in another alternate reality, I told this story already. And as I'm going down to my knights to see who to reward with land in Ulster, there we get the pop-up that your brother, High Chieftain Geralt mac Flann Sinna of Connacht, is the new heir to the High Kingship of Ireland. So what I've done up here in our new conquered lands, I've given Ulster to my full brother, Ruacán, the fool who lost, I can't remember what he lost, I think he had lands, no, Maelstach Néill had these, I think he had our overseas holdings, which he lost. He has a son, Coning, whose name comes up every once in a while for election to the crown of Alba. So at least there's going to be a succession there. And Alach, then, I have given to this guy. I have not seen that first name before, so I'm not entirely too sure how it's pronounced. But he's of House Carthach, who would become the McCarthys. The Mock Carthach would become the McCarthys. And I've given him Alach, which of course was our stepfather Aed's former holdings. It might have been a better idea, symbology-wise, to swap the two of these around. But he, of course, killed was the Count or the Duke of Norfolk in the last battle. So as a reward for that, I have landed him, and we've gotten our domain limit back under control. And let's see if that has actually made any changes to the election for the High Kingship. Who these guys are supporting. This guy, because he's the Duke of Ulster, he still has a vote, which is gas there. Ruacán is supporting Geralt as well. And Geralt is supporting Arcade. I was thinking of supporting him, but he has no land, so there's not really much of a point. And this chieftain is also supporting, so a lot of people are actually now swinging in behind Geralt. Except for Geralt himself. And also, just while I was looking down through my list of knights, so here's, I think it's Cathar, who was, I think he was ranked like 2nd or 3rd for a while. And we took Ocaid instead. But we can see that that Ruacán, who was ranked way down near the bottom, he's all of a sudden shot up in prowess. He's become a much better knight. He's sadistic. He's a torturer, which gives him +4, and thriving in chaos, which is something that Flann Sinna was going for as well. But he has become a much greater torturer. He's actually gotten the stat for torture, so he's following in his father's traditions. Should something happen to Geralt before the transfer of the High Kingship, Ruacán is another potential successor, following in his father's footsteps. And just very quickly before we continue on with anything else, I remembered after finishing the last video, recording the last video, it was the first time that we made no mention of the Norse, that we made no mention of the Gardariki. Jedvard died from his wounds on the 12th of September 928, and he was succeeded by his nephew, Helgi's son, Gudmundur. They've lost this region, so their actual home world has split in half, and chunks are still being chipped out here. So Jedvard's attempts to maintain reign over here by converting to Catholicism and adopting Bavarian culture failed utterly, and as we expected, Novgorod has rebranded back to Gardariki, but it is far from the power that it once was. In line with the Isles, I remember they were putting together coalitions of 12,000 men. How the mighty have fallen. I said that in the last episode we made no mention of the Norse. I'm beginning not to even think of the Isles as the Norse anymore. They've just been such a constant feature up here in Scotland. And because also they're losing their connections to their Scandinavian alliances. The only major power that I did technically mention in the last episode, and was that we were going to stay the hell away from them, is the Swedes. They can put together 8,000 men. just over 8,000 men. So they are still a bit of a worry to us. But yeah, for now, after all of the terror that they caused to Flann Sinna, the Norse threat has been removed utterly from the island of Ireland and has been neutered to a degree. And to finish off, we're going to achieve Flann Sinna's ultimate goal. Now that we have the support of our brother Geralt, we're just going to do a very simple conquest of Dublin. We're going to confirm, and we're going to take possession of it ourselves. Now they can put together a nice army if they bring in their allies. I'm not too sure where they're getting all those numbers from, but it shouldn't be the worst. And we declare the final war for the liberation of Ireland, for the reconquest of Ireland. We raise our armies right next door to them. And there is our alliance formed with our brother. I don't think we'll need him for this mission. Possibly. We have an alliance with him, but it's saying we can't call vassals to war, which is awkward. But we have an alliance with him, which it'll be probably good for him if he's following the diplomat tree. Because it'll give him a +1 to learning. And we have some allies are coming into the war. They're putting together nice numbers, up to 1,500. And we will march from Athlone. We will march into Dublin. We've raided Dublin. I think the last time that we raided Dublin was when we were putting together money for our trip to Rome. The last time before that was, of course, the disastrous event that called in the Isles. The Isles came in to punish us. And here we have the Welsh landing in a rather bad spot. We're going to move and try and hit them as soon as we can after they disembark. And in the middle of the battle, we get a new martial perk. How handy. They maimed our marshal, who I would swear I had forbidden to serve in battle numerous times. I think we'll go with strict organization, because once this war ends, we're going to have to take a break to bring our offensive war penalty back under control, and we will have our marshal increasing control in counties. So while looking down through our lists, our two landed knights leading the kill list as always. Ruacon not doing too shabby for himself. Poor old Donal is still holding in there. He's shoving up in the kill list. And one of the people that we killed was Prince Owen of the Onath Rahaland, which is a historical family. And he is the son of Cú Congelt, who is the leader or the ruler of, I'm not entirely too sure where he was the ruler of in the game. He is a historical figure. And the guy that we just killed is, I think he's a historical figure. His brother, anyway, Crahur, is real. So this is the family that would have ruled, I'm not too sure what part of Munster they were in at the start of the game, in 867, but they've been driven out by all of the political shenanigans that have gone on there, and he had converted to Cathar, and now he's dead, killed by an Irish army while trying to defend Wales's claims and Wales's hold on Dublin. And our army marches back to siege down Dublin. Wales, bless them, that army that we just smashed, they're bringing in 115 troops in to try and siege down Ormond. And somebody is plotting to kill my guest. Yes. They spelt guest wrong. She's my guest. That could be me. I could be the one plotting. What you're probably hearing is my footsteps going down the stairs. That's probably what you're hearing. So if we look in our dark underground hotel, again we have 3 prisoners. This lady can pay us 27 quid. She's making 1.7 gold per month, so we could hold out for the full 50. I'm just going to get her out of here. I was thinking about executing this woman, but if we do, we will get the dynastic kinslayer negative modifier, so there's not much we can do. Nobody will pay any money for her, so we're pretty much just going to release her for a weak hook. I don't think she's great for anything. She's not much good to us. I don't think we'd do much with her in court, so we could try to marry her off to a knight. She's not great though, and they're going to get negative opinions for her because she's a murderer herself, so we'll just negotiate her release. This dude, this is a lord. This guy has a county. Surely this guy will give us tons of money. A favor. Oh, he has no money. Well, he also is making 1.7 gold per month, so he can spend some time in house arrest until he has enough money to pay his way out of our prisons. So I'm not entirely too sure what's just after happening here. Vestland is trying to conquer the Duchy of Albany, and we have just been made the target. I think they declared war. I don't think they declared war on us. I just got a pop-up that we've become the new target, and we're now fighting on the side of a number of Viking powers, and we are fighting against another number of Viking powers. Now, they have a very small army at the moment, and they're actually sieging down, or they're trying to siege down. They're wandering around up here in northern Scotland. What I might do, because it doesn't look like these guys are going to be able to do much to us, I might actually split my army and send half of them up to take care of this. Yeah, just like we did really easily the last time we had soldiers up there. So we've split the army in 2. We're marching the second army, the one that is not commanded by Briag, because he is he's wounded. His prowess has fallen a good bit. I'm going to stop having him commanding the armies. I have him forbidden as a knight, but he does still command the armies. That's actually bad. Our alliance with these guys has gone. So I can't remember who I was married to there. Or who was married to, but that was actually an important alliance. They had, I think, 1,700 troops. It's not the biggest depletion. I don't think it's been any depletion to our numbers whatsoever. Those damn pesky Vikings have started sieging down our holdings up here. There is another Norse army, however, that's wandering around and doing a huge amount of damage to them, so maybe we're not even needed. I don't know where the hell we can even go. What an end to the battle for Dublin. This army is going to come in here and into Cumberland, because these guys are allied in the Welsh defence of Dublin. But there we go. The Irish now have control of the entire island of Ireland. So we've been fighting in the fields, training with our men, and one of them, a low-ranking peasant, called Falkatach Uí Néill. I don't know, did he push us over or hurted us or something? I'm not entirely too sure what he did. We can strike him down where he stands. We can lecture them all on honour. It'll give us stress, but Grianghrafadóir needs knights. Grianghrafadóir, I mean, knights were never a problem for Flann Sinna because we had none. We didn't have the capacity and we didn't have the numbers. And this guy has 18 prowess. He has proven himself on the field of battle, and by the field of battle, I mean by baiting me up on the training field. We're going to hire him. And immediately, we're going to find a spouse for him. We're going to marry him to my giant of a daughter. And there he is. There's our new champion and son-in-law, straight in at number 4 on the charts. I'm not too sure what army he's with, which of the two armies he's with, whether he's going to be combating any of these forces up here in the north of Scotland. Let's see if we can try and run down this retreating army and punish them for even thinking about joining a war against us. And we return to battle in Scotland for the first time in a while. We're in a bad way, I'd say, because we're attacking in the mountains and we've low quality troops. Oh gods, no, our other army has been ambushed by 3 men. Ooh, that was a bad mistake by you guys. I'm trying to see where to march this other army to. So I'm going to have the second Athlone army involved in the actual war against the Vikings. And the first army will then continue to march in here. But there is nowhere. So there's nowhere in Ireland. And there's nowhere on the British Isles that that we can siege down. We may have to return to Norway for the first time in a very long time. The first time since since Flann Sinna's big rigmarole of a run around Norway in a raid. They don't have a huge amount of forces that they can bring against us. Let's look over here at what kind of pillage we could be getting. If we land and siege down Westerfold itself, there's a good chunk of change there. And I'm confident that with our armies of 1,600 that we should be able to defend ourselves. So we're gonna go out into the sea and return to Norway. And we had a stunning victory there over 3 men who sieged us. Yeah, absolutely staggering. Or 3 men who ambushed us. So the Viking coalition that we're fighting against looks like it has less than 300 men in Britain. So we can mop them up with our other forces if worst comes to worst. We've captured a Baba that belongs to the Countess of Dublin. We're gonna ransom the Baba for a tenner. We're ransoming this guy for 20 quid, I think. This guy, I'm afraid to say, doesn't have much going for him. He's a peasant leader. He's a former berserker. I'm afraid to say, you're getting an old dose of the burning. And does this guy have any money? He has 2 gold with which to buy himself out of prison. You're going to be staying there for another while. Get some money together and then we'll talk. And so the second army returns to Norway, following in the mythological footsteps, or the mythical footsteps of Flann Sinna and Chieftain Diarmid, who raided this place. So we're nearly finished sieging down Cumberland, and then we'll probably... Will we come down here? Yeah, sure. There's an 105-man Welsh army trying to siege down Ormond. Everyone is just laughing at them. Same here with this small army. Oh, boys, they're bringing in 29 men. We're ruined. What can we do with our 1,500 soldiers? So yeah, these were just some strange wars that we were dragged into. And Grianghrafadóir's rule really has been cemented by the weakness of the Norse in this region. And speaking about the weakness of the Norse, I see that the Swedish have... How do I find the Swedish? There we go. Okay, so Swedish power has weakened. It looks like they have a new king. Their alliances have weakened, but they have wiped out. I didn't actually spot that part. We'll very quickly move the army down here. Donal's father has been deposed. So poor old Donal. He has not. Oh my god. The kingdom of Alba has gone into exile. On Orkney, it's all that's left. The Swedish have taken the former capital. We took the former capital. And the Swedes have pushed in here into... I actually got that pop-up and I thought that means nothing. I don't know where that place is. Now I realise where it is. These two counties belong to Small land. So small. And I was gonna take this place as part of my my next push to kind of create a contiguous entity. Oh, those pesky Swedes. Those pesky Swedes. And now this is it, the Island Kingdom. This is all that is left of the once mighty Kingdom of Alba, which has been in terminal decline since the rule of Constantine the Mad and the death of Grianghrafadóir's son. Well, his very brief reign, the boy King of Scotland, deposed after a year, and then they murdered him. And Grianghrafadóir, even though he has... a great new son who is coming of age in a couple of months' time. The loss of his first son, Congus, is still bitter to him. Speaking of Donal and his family members, here is his wife, and she's talking with another of... She's not strictly his family member. She's part of the Uí Néill. But she was Cuchurca's wife before Cuchurca was killed at the Battle of Cornwall. So this is my brother Cuchurca, who Cuchurca Moor is named after. And they're talking about my brother, my full brother. Such distinctions are important when your father has 5 wives. Full brothers and half brothers are important distinctions, and alliances would often form between full brothers. They'd kind of, based on who their mother was, they'd form alliances, and that's why we're thinking about supporting Ruacán at some stage. Geralt, of course, is who we're nominating at the moment for the High Kingship. He's our half brother, and they're talking about him. I don't know what they're talking about. I could either warn him, or I could gain 28 dread and torture the two of them. They're having a shady discussion. The prisoner's lips are sealed tighter than I expected. After a long night of questioning, the jailer's frustration takes the better of him, and the two courtiers are dead by morning. But not before they reveal their secret. The subject of their discussion was an unsavoury habit of Earl Ruacán's that I was completely unaware of. Right, well... yes, that went exactly as I planned. That what a fortuitous and exciting discovery. So I have to click on this woman first of all. We'll pause very quickly. So died in my dungeons. Do you know what? Poor old Donal doesn't seem to mind too much. She died in our dungeons, but she didn't die as a result of being in our dungeon. Well, Donal, look, that's a great attitude to have. You're young. There's plenty of time. Get another wife. Do you know? I mean, one of them's sterile. One of your children is sterile, and yeah, look. We'll get you a new wife. We'll get you a wife fitting of somebody who's going to be landed one day once we actually get some land up here. And yeah, that's the best attitude to take. If we come over here and look at this lad. So apparently we've discovered he's a deviant. We don't have any immediate use for it at the moment, but it's definitely going to mitigate against him being nominated for the High Kingship in future. Probably cements Grianghrafadóir's decision to favour his half-brother Geralt instead of, I think this is his remaining full brother. If we go and look at their mother, it is indeed, yeah. His other two full brothers are dead. Morshock Néill lost his lands. Rickon or Ruacán is still holding on there in Oriel. Cuchurca, of course, was killed at just 19 years of age, and Ruacán, who we very recently gave some land to, we've now discovered is a deviant through some well carried out interrogative procedures. our options are not great at the moment to try and find a wife for poor old Donal. Most of the people that I found who have medium chances are either insane or they are fornicators, so there's a bit of a problem there. This child is 13, coming of age, I think, about just over 2 years' time. So Donal will be 28 by then. Chance that we'll get the Hale trait passed on. Related, but it doesn't seem anywhere close or anything like that. So yeah, we're gonna send that proposal. So I got a little pop up there that a valuable hostage was taken by one of the Vikings on our side. We've pretty much gotten up to 100% war score over here. So because we have a stat, we can actually bring the war to an end much earlier. But hey, look, we get more money by doing this. We're also going to get more money here again. That's also awesome. So here's my allies that fought on the side with me. 100% war contribution. So are you saying I did nothing? I probably didn't do anything. I keep my contested title. I didn't even know my title was under contestation. Thanks for the 45 quid. We can only disband in friendly areas. We can just go back up to... Oh, that's not ours anymore. Oh. And all at once, we get 2 big pop-ups. Our hook on Donal has expired. So I was just about to click on him and he disappeared. And our son, Cathar, who Donal has been raising and taking care of for the last number of years, has come of age with sufficient tutelage. Even a child that has displayed little natural inclination towards warfare, such as Cathar, can come to truly understand it. They grow up so fast, and look at the size of him. A temperate, forgiving, but impatient giant. He's an aggressive attacker, and a skilled tactician. So if we ever do play as him in future, he will get a big boost to his martial lifestyle. He's a 3-star. His father, he's the same as his father. But there you go. They grow up so fast, and we now have the option of marrying him off to the daughter of the King of Brittany, bringing in 2,400 troops. And oh, they're now married. Okay, we didn't get time to send off the proposal, and they are now married. I didn't pause the game while I was looking through all that. My God, we have so many prisoners, we can't even fit them all on the one screen. We need a scroll bar. This is fantastic. So we're gonna release the Scaly Baba on the condition that he accepts our vastly superior methods, patent pending for the calculation of Easter. She's going to give us a lot of money, but I'm already ransoming this woman off first of all for I think 25 quid. She's going to give us 50. They're both going to the same person. And he has the money, so we will get him to pay. Or else it's this person we're ransoming off. These two. And this woman, we're actually going to make her join our court. Doesn't have any great stats, but we might be able to marry her off to somebody. She's got a really cool family crest as well. Love is learning. Aww. Zendaya is Michi. This guy's put some chunk of money together. Do you know what? We'll ransom him off as well. We get 39 quid. We could wait for the full 50. But you know what? We'll clear out the hotel. We need to keep the numbers coming true. We need to keep high turnover. That's what we want. So Ossory has converted to the Irish traditions, and I was going to bring the war to an end, but then we got a big boost to our siege here. So we might as well keep it going. We're going to get, I think, 8 quid. 24. Hell's bells, we're going to keep that going. No, that's not where we're sieging. It's here. We're only going to get 8. We're only get 8. I was getting myself excited. We can disband one of our 2 armies. And there we go. We have 100%. We will enforce our demands. So be it. We will disband the army. And the entire island of Ireland is now under the rule of the Uí Néill. All of the foreign powers have been driven from the island. The Welsh, the Norse, the other Welsh, the Danish, they're all gone, and it is just Ireland. If we look at our culture, we do have a bit of work to do. We're getting Briog and his cool eye patch. Everyone wants to join now. I've made this mistake before where I've clicked on the thing first of all. 9 and Spindley does have a great marshal, but no, go way out of it. But there you go. The island of Ireland is now under Irish control. We do have a job in converting these regions back to being Irish culture, and also spreading the insular Christian religion to the areas that are Cathar. We're going to have a period of peace and prosperity for now, because as you can see, we have an offensive war debuff of -39, which is pretty hefty, amongst many of our vassals. So we're gonna wait to get that down before we make any pushes back into Scotland. How we got even more money there just a few seconds ago to ransom off another prisoner. And we are able to create, for the first time since it was lost to Ebb in 880. So 54 years ago, the title was destroyed, and we are now in a position to create the Duchy of Meath. Now, immediately we have put our steward, changing the culture of Dublin, which is currently Norse. I'll probably actually also get my marshal. I will put him on increased control. So he has been training the troops for a while, but we're going to peace. We're not going to war. We're going to peace, and we're going to see if he can bring up the control. There's a lot of areas lacking in control at the moment, so hopefully he'll be able to restore that and get the armies and get the taxes up. We're now bringing in 4.5 gold per month, which is a nice number. And I think what Grianghrafadóir is going to do is, again for expediency, he's going to take a vow of poverty. Knocks us down to a respectable 3.6. That's not too bad, and it brings in some piety for him now. And now that he's actually making piety from something, his pilgrim trait kicks in and gives him plus 10%. So he wasn't getting anything from being a pilgrim up until now, but he's suddenly gone from minus 0.1 to 0 to plus 2.3 piety per month. So we might get something. We might get something out of that. We're a bit off of being able to do something with our renown for our dynasty, but we're going to convert Dublin and holding on to Dublin, possibly even making Dublin our capital, because if we come here and construct new buildings as a feudal holding, it has lots of options, but we can't do anything. We can't actually build any of this stuff, so that's a bit of a pity. I thought we might be able to, even though it's feudal. Because it's feudal, we can't actually build any tribal stuff here, so that's a pity. That's a pity. But I think we're getting. I don't really know how much taxes we're getting from the region as yet. There's no real point looking at the domain just yet, because these places are so badly low in control that there's no actual point in looking at them immediately. But what I'm going to do is bring the episode to an end there. I'm probably going to look at handing ossuary off to somebody, and Grianghrafadóir will just hold on to these territories here. Or what I might do is hand away the Scottish territories, because it's most likely that when Grianghrafadóir takes over after, or sorry, when Cuchurcha takes over after Grianghrafadóir, he'd have these counties. I don't want them dragging land out of Scotland. Very presumptuous of me with the expansion of Sweden that we're going to be able to form Scotland. But I do want to push in the next episode, after a bit of a break, after we get that penalty down, I do want to push in here and again start our liberation of Scotland, basically. It's been an exciting one. After all of the struggles, after all of our campaigns, Flann Sinna's ultimate achievement of liberating Ireland from the foreign powers has been achieved by his son Grianghrafadóir, and Ireland is now single united entity, and we can return to our campaigns for the stabilization of Scotland. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all on the next one.